G'day folks, Prime Minister Scott Morrison is under the gun, and not for the first time. There's demand from political opponents, members of his own party and leaders from around the world that Australia must step up its game and commit to net zero emissions by 2050. After digging in for so long, Morrison does appear to be giving up some ground here, while making no firm commitments around dates. He says a plan involving new low-emissions technologies and cleaner energy sources is coming.
When it comes to climate, today there was a real sense of resolve. And not just about the if question, of course, is the answer to that question.
When I spoke to the Treasurer last week, he warned of economic consequences, particularly for foreign investors if Australia lags on climate action. Does this mean the government has settled on a plan for net zero by 2050?
Look, no decision's been taken, but obviously we're working through the issues internally. We very much depend on foreign investors. So I want to make sure that Australia is not disadvantaged by this shift, but to the contrary, that we actually take advantage of this shift. And we're doing that in a number of ways, including more investment in renewable energy consistent with our targets.
Now, the key to progress will be the Nationals. The fragmented junior coalition partner has resisted change until now. Former leader Michael McCormack is in. Senator Matt Canavan is definitely not, while current leader Barnaby Joyce, somewhere in between, alongside the Resources Minister Keith Pitt. Do you back a net zero target?
Well, once again, the government's policy is that we will meet our target at 2030. We agreed to the Paris Agreement. We are on track to meet and beat that. We have reduced our emissions by 20%, and we're going pretty well.
But net zero by 2050, do you support that? Do you back that?
Well, once again, that's not currently the policy of the government. So I support the government's position. We are having a discussion about what that might change or potentially change to. The Nationals have a broad range of views.
The concerns many people have are the hollow promises of net zero pledges. It's why Morrison has been reluctant to commit to a target without a firm plan. Because if a nation commits, what does it actually mean? And how is it policed if it is realised so far into the future? China comes to mind. It prioritises its economy over emissions. Last week it announced that it would no longer build new coal energy plants abroad. Perhaps it was done to placate critics, as it is the world's largest polluter. But China is also planning to build 43 new coal-fired power plants and 18 new blast furnaces, which will add about 1.5% to its current annual emissions. So when it says it wants to be carbon neutral by 2060, does anyone believe them? If other developed nations are all pulling in the same direction, why does China get a free pass? It seems as though the Nats will come around, though, eventually. The National Farmers Federation, Meat and Livestock Australia, plus BHP and the likes of Twiggy Forrest all think net zero by 2050 can be achieved. And if we are, as the government says, meeting and beating our 2030 targets, why can't we then make 2050 targets? According to the government's own figures, between 2005 and 2019, our emissions fell faster than Canada, New Zealand, Japan and the United States. In the past 2 years, our position has improved by more than 639 million tonnes, which is the equivalent of taking all of Australia's nearly 15 million cars off the road for 15 years. Its investments in renewables and solar panels has some of the highest uptake in the world per capita. So it all seems like a pretty logical commitment to me, but China should do more too. Now, if we just had a nuclear industry, it would be so much easier. But unfortunately for us, it's a no-go for now. Folks, if you like these videos, please like, share and subscribe below, and I'll see you next week.